Hello everybody, welcome back to House Bunnington, a channel where we like to talk about bunnies and technology. And today we're going to talk a little bit about this particular technology, the Stream Deck XL from Elgato. And just a quick rundown for those of you that might not know what the Stream Deck is. It is this physical piece of hardware right here, and it has, in this case, 32 buttons because it's the XL, and all of those buttons are individual little screens, and they can be pressed to make things happen as you choose to set it up, right? So, for example, you can use it to launch programs. If you want to set it up with all your favorite games, you can just have the icon for your game on there. As soon as you push the button, it'll launch the game. You can do it with setting up macros for things like video editing or photo editing software as well. But what we're going to look at today is something that is usually overlooked, and that is the fact that those buttons aren't just buttons. They are also tiny little real-time displays, which means that they update in real time. And so we're going to look at how to set these up to do system monitoring. Okay, so we're going to need to do a few things to set this up to be successful. So the first thing we're going to have to do is open up our browser, head over to Google and type HWinfo64. Hit enter, and you'll see here that we have the HWinfo installer. Click on that and come over here to where it says free download, and then just click on the one that's closest to you, and it will then download the installer for Hardware Info 64. Now I've already got that installed, so I'm not going to run through that process this time, but know that it is going to require you to make a choice during setup, and you're going to want to choose sensors only. Now after that's done, you're going to want to come down here into your system tray with Hardware Info 64 running, right click on the icon, go to settings, and just make sure that this little shared memory support button right here, this little box needs to be ticked. If it is not ticked, then it will not communicate with the Stream Deck. The 12-hour limit applies if you're using the free version, and if you actually paid for this software, then congratulations, you don't have to worry about this except the one time that we click it. So we're going to hit OK now. And now that we've got that set up, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here, click on this, go to search, type HW, and we're going to download the plugin for the Stream Deck that is Hardware Info right here. Once that is done installing, your optional step that I would recommend is coming over here and going to New Profile. So right up here where it says Default, click on that, go to New Profile. It is going to create profile number 1, click on that. Again, go to Edit Profile, and then rename this something appropriate. So I'm going to name it SYSMON for System Monitor. Hit enter, close that, and there we go. That's the next step. We're one step closer here. Okay, so now that we are one step closer, let's go down here to all the way down at the bottom. Now, this is a really lengthy thing, so you might have to scroll down for a little bit, but right down there at the bottom is going to be that HW info. We're going to take that, hold it, drag it over to here, and it's going to put our first button. It's going to light up right there on the physical Stream Deck itself. Now, we don't see any information being displayed on that button, but that's because we haven't told it where to look yet. Now, we're going to do a sensor right here. Choose a sensor right there. And my CPU is an i9-12900K, so it shows up right there. I click on that. And then we're going to see what readings we want to display from that sensor. And for this, we are going to do the clock speeds, well, the effective clock speed for each of the cores of our CPU. Now, this has 16 cores total, and half of those are E cores, half of those are P cores. So we're going to find E15, because I like to work from the last to the first instead of the other way around, but you can do it however you want. And we're going to click effective clock speed right there, and you'll see it comes up with a measly little 32 megahertz is showing there. Now, that little megahertz, that 32 is actually right, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, blue is the color of Intel, so I like to change the foreground and highlight colors of these to something more appropriate. There we go. So, Team Blue got blue. Now, right click on this, copy, paste. The reason that we're doing it that way instead of dragging and dropping another one is for two reasons. One, it maintains our color choices, but more importantly, it maintains our sensor choice. So now all we have to do is come down here, click on this, and then go to the next number in the sequence, and there we go, eCore 14, effective clock, boom, right there. And then paste, click on that. Make sure you click on it too, or even better, click on it before you hit paste is even better, but make sure you at least click on it, because otherwise it stays, even if you paste, it doesn't automatically select it, so you're going to end up with a changing the values for the wrong thing. But anyway, so we're on 13 now, so let's go down here and just change this to 13's effective clock. There we go. Now 12. Come over here, change this one to 12 effective clock. And as you can see, this is a pretty straightforward process. So that was 12, so now we're going to do 11 effective clock. There we go. And over here, we're going to do 10 effective clock right there. 9. There's 9. Oops. 9 effective clock. Oh, wait, that was 8. That wasn't 8. I want a 9. 9 effective. I don't know why that was so difficult for me. There it is. Now we'll do the 8 effective clock. And then over here, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to paste another one. This one's going to be slightly different in that this is going to be core 7, and 7 is where we start the P cores. So now it's just a P core effective clock right there. And you can name these too. So like, for example, this one's P07, right? So that's P07. Wasn't there a game for the GameCube called P07 or P03? PNO3 maybe? I remember there was a game that had a name something like that, and it was hyped that it, in all the magazines before it came out, it was going to be amazing, and everybody was just chomping at the bit to get that game. And then when it came out, it was womp womp. It was average as can be. I'm gonna have to look that up afterwards. But anyway, I digress, as Jay would say. So moving on, we're just gonna keep on keeping on, and this one's gonna be, the last one was 7, so this one will be 6. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that should be 0. So I must have counted 7, 6. Okay, this one's 5. All right, this one should be 5, not 6. That's what I did. I counted wrong. There you go. And then this one's 4. Because 0 is a number, so the actual last P core is going to be 4, not 1. And come down here to 3. And then come down here to 2. 1. 0. So that's how you're going to set your there we go. That's how you set your clock speeds. So you'll see that these are running all over the place. And another thing that you can do is you can do one extra one. So you come over here, you paste, and this is going to be a little bit different. Okay, just a tad bit, because what we're going to do here is we are going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can put your total CPU usage down here. And that will tell you how much of your total CPU is being used. So out of all these, we're currently at 12%. Now, the E-cores are efficiency cores, as they call them. And if you don't know what that means, I will just tell you real quick that efficiency cores take care of smaller background things. So things like, for example, the reporting from hardware info is probably being handled by an E-core. So one of these that's actually doing something is probably what's reporting to these. If you're running something a little bit heavier, something like a video game or a video app or something like that, you're going to start using P cores. Those are performance cores. Those are reserved for the programs that are going to require more horsepower. So the video encoding, the video encoding for this recording is probably being handled by, I would guess, this one. Right. So anyway, moving forward. Now that we've got those set up and we can see our total CPU usage down here, we're going to come over here and, whoops, yes, we're going to paste one more, and we're going to change the sensor that we're looking at, and we're going to change it to the DTS. I don't know what DTS means, but I know that what it allows me to do is check out the temperatures for all these cores. And you'll see there's this one right here, for example, is a yes/no critical temperature. So if we selected that, it'll report for that core, yes or no, critical temperature, 0. So 0 is it's a 1 or 2 state, I suppose. Maybe? Like a simple yes or no state. So that's what that is. It's either going to be a 0 for a no or a 1 for a yes. And there you go. There you go. But that's not what we want to look at. We want to look at CPU package. That tells us now we can see what our effective clock speeds are for all of our cores in our CPU. We can see the total usage of our CPU, and we can see the temperature of our CPU. Now, this is all useful information for a lot of reasons to a lot of people. Most of you, I would imagine, are probably not going to need to worry about it. It's not going to make that much of a difference for you, in which case these two, the percentage and the temperature, are the only two I would bother with. If you don't care about individual core clock speeds, just do these. Now, next we're going to come over here, actually. We're going to drag and drop. Let's put it, I don't know why that happened. Let's put it over here, actually. Now, we're going to leave these green because NVIDIA's colors are green, but I'm kind of like a little bit pedantic about this. So I'm going to switch it to this green and then switch this one to the dark green. There we go. And this one is going to display our GPU, in this case the 4090, and the reading that we're going to be looking at for this is the GPU clock speed. There it is. And it'll display like that. It's hard to read because the lettering is white, and that is a pretty bright background. So we will just change the lettering to black on that, and then all of a sudden, there we go. We can see our clock speed, no problem. So we're going to copy and we're going to paste, and we're going to change this from GPU clock speed to the GPU temperature. There it is. Temperature right there. Now it says 40. Now, look down here and you'll see that min-max says 28 to 65. We're going to change that from 0 to 99. Whoops, to 99. Now, what that means is it's going to read values in this cell from anywhere. It'll display anywhere from 0 all the way to 99. If your GPU is hitting 99 degrees, it's too hot. You need to give it a rest. But we need to change our color of our text again because it's a little bit too hard to read. So let's make it a little bit brighter, but not super bright. There we go. I can read that just fine. That is not an issue. Now keep in mind that down here, because it's being sent through another camera, it doesn't look as good as it does in person. In person, those keys readouts look a lot more like you're seeing on the screen than they do in the camera view. So, moving on. Now that we've done these, actually that's it, right? So there we go. We have it. We're done. Congratulations. You've done it. If you followed along with me, you set this up yourself, then there it is. It's all done. Otherwise, just do it as you please, and it will be done. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more Stream Deck content, also let's change this one from 0 to 99 as well for the same reasons. Now, if you guys want to see more Stream Deck content, please feel free to let me know, and I will be more than happy to upload more videos concerning the Elgato Stream Deck and the different kind of cool stuff you can do with it. If you want to see some of the more basic stuff that you can do with it, like launching apps and things like that, let me know. I'll do that. If you want to see some of the more quirky or niche things that can be done with it, because there's a few, let me know and I will make some videos concerning that. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you as always. Have a fantastic day. And until next time, I don't have an outro. I just realized I don't have like a good outro saying yet. So hit me up in the comments below. What should my outro saying be? Because I don't know. Like, it's technology and bunnies, right? So like, until next time, keep hopping. That sounds a little too cheesy even for me, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. We could do it together, right? As a community, we'll come up with our outro slogan. But until the next time, have a good day, and thanks for watching.